Section 4 is really important. Section 4, Rule 004, it's also very important. That's your conductor sizing rule. But it has section 1 and 2, subset 1 and 2 of Rule 4-004 of conductor sizing. Really, you only have half the work because Rule 1 is about copper, Rule 2 is about aluminum. So let's talk about the difference between copper and aluminum and what you'll be working on in your code and what you should be studying. So 4-0041 is about copper. Copper is, I would say, usually what you're going to be using for most of your jobs, unless you're working in the power transmission and distribution side of things. But when you're passing your electrical exams, you have to know both. So copper is used in industrial, commercial, residential settings. It's what is going to be in homes, office buildings, manufacturing facilities, etc. It has excellent conductivity. We know that. It doesn't corrode on the outside, like it doesn't oxidize like aluminum does. It has a high mechanical resistance. It's nice to work with. It is expensive though. It's a little less malleable than aluminum. It's more expensive than aluminum. But then aluminum has that disadvantage of it oxidizing and it's less dense. Therefore, it has a lower conductivity. The reason why aluminum is used for power transmission and distribution is simple. It's because it is less dense, it is lightweight. It is also less expensive. So in power transmission and distribution, these lines have to go from pole to pole to pole. They have to span very large distances, and they simply couldn't do that in copper. It would be very expensive and it would be very heavy. You'd have to have twice the number of poles. So Section 4 of this Canadian Electrical Code for conductor sizing 4004, 1 and 2. 1 is for copper, 2 is for aluminum. That's the first thing you have to decide when you're sort of going through a flowchart of conductor sizing. If you're working in copper, you're using table 1, 2, 5C in Appendix B. If you're working with aluminum, you're using tables 3, 4, and 5C from Rule 4004, and these are in Appendix B. So if you were to do a flowchart, which I've done a lot of flowcharts, and you can check out my flowcharts about how to solve conductor sizing problems, very first thing you do is you figure out, are you copper or aluminum? So you don't have to know Rule 1 and Rule 2. They are very, very similar. They're just looking at different tables for the same methods and the same calculations. So in summary, copper is used for pretty much everything in electrical, and aluminum is used pretty much for power transmission and distribution, although aluminum used to be used in some houses. So you still might come across that, but you're likely redoing it at that time. I hope this is helpful. Please, if I can ask you to subscribe and hit like on this video, and please comment about what's helpful about this and what do you need to know further. Check out my other videos about how you actually do the calculations in this conductor sizing section of the Canadian Electrical Code. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening.